There comes a moment in every life where you finally see the truth. You are not stuck because you lack strength. You are stuck because you keep choosing the same patterns, the same people, the same habits, the same versions of yourself you have outgrown. Breaking a cycle is never about becoming someone new. It's about finally choosing the person you were always meant to be. This is the story of a man who spent years bending, shrinking, and repeating the same painful loops, until one ordinary day became the day he chose himself. His name was Jonah. Jonah was the kind of person everyone relied on. The friend who always said yes. The employee who stayed late even when his chest felt tight. The partner who tolerated more than he should. The son who never wanted to disappoint. He didn't mind being dependable, but somewhere along the way, dependable morphed into never chooses himself. And people got used to it, because when you make yourself the background character of your own life, others start treating you that way too. Jonah told himself it was temporary, that things would get better once he proved he was worthy. Worthy of love, of respect, of happiness. But patterns don't break just because you outgrow them. They break only when you decide to stop feeding them. For years, he repeated the same loops. A job that drained him. A relationship that took more than it gave. Habits that numbed instead of healed, a smile he wore like armor, and a quiet voice inside him that whispered, "You deserve better." But he never listened. Not because he didn't believe it, but because he didn't know how to choose himself without feeling guilty for it. Everything changed on a Tuesday. Not a dramatic day, not a chaotic day, just a regular, forgettable Tuesday. The kind that blends into every other day when you're living on autopilot. Work was its usual blur of demands. His boss handed him a rushed assignment and said, "I need this in 2 hours. Cancel your break." He nodded, because he always nodded. At lunch, his partner texted him, "You busy? I need you to help me with something later. Don't be late again." He typed, "Sure, no problem," even though he had promised himself he'd rest tonight. And while walking home, a friend called. "I know it's last minute, but can you listen? I'm really stressed." They talked for 40 minutes. The friend thanked him, hung up, didn't ask how Jonah was doing. By the time he got home, he could feel it. That familiar heaviness settling in his chest. The quiet ache of someone who gives and gives and gives, but doesn't know how to receive. He microwaved leftovers, didn't finish them, and sat on the couch staring at the wall. Then his phone buzzed again. His partner. "On my way soon. Can you run to the store and get what I'll ask for earlier?" He hadn't seen the earlier message. He checked. It had been sent an hour ago. He stood there holding the phone, feeling the same old voice rise inside him. "Just go. It's easier than disappointing someone." But something else rose too. Something quieter, but stronger. A thought that felt like a spark. "I'm exhausted. I can't keep doing this." For a moment, he tried to ignore it. He tried to swallow it. He tried to shrink the feeling the way he always had. But this time, the feeling refused to shrink. It grew. It spread through his chest. It pulsed behind his ribs. It whispered louder, "You are allowed to choose yourself." And suddenly he felt it. The weight of every moment he never stood up for himself. Every time he silenced his needs. Every time he settled for less than what his heart quietly begged for. He sank onto the couch. He inhaled shakily. He stared at his hands. Hands that had helped everyone but himself. And then, with a courage he didn't know he had, he typed a message he had never typed before. "I can't do this tonight. I'm tired." His thumb hovered over the send button. He hesitated. His heart raced. Choosing yourself for the first time feels like betrayal. But the real betrayal is all the times you never did. He hit send. The reply came quickly. "Really? Seriously? You never show up when I need you." Normally that message would break him. Normally he would apologize, fix it, abandon himself again. But something in him stayed still. Because this time, he wasn't acting from guilt. He was acting from truth. He typed back, "I show up every time. I just never show up for myself. I need a break." He put the phone down. His breath shook. His eyes burned. He wasn't just saying no to a request. He was saying no to the pattern, the loop, the cycle. And with that one act, something inside him cracked open, not with pain, but with relief. He sat there for minutes, maybe hours, listening to the silence, feeling something he had never allowed himself to feel. Peace. Not the calm you get from making others comfortable, but the calm you get from finally being honest with yourself. He realized then that choosing yourself doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop abandoning yourself to care for others. That night, he made small choices he had avoided for years. He turned off his phone. He took a long shower. He made tea. He sat on the floor and breathed until the tightness in his chest loosened. And for the first time in a long time, he heard his own thoughts without drowning in noise. He whispered, "I've never given myself a chance." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't bold. It wasn't a declaration, but it was the truth. And the truth was enough. The days that followed weren't perfect. People were surprised. Some were frustrated. Some even called him selfish. Not because he was, but because they were no longer benefiting from his self-neglect. But slowly, Jonah reclaimed parts of himself he had long abandoned. He started saying no without guilt. He took evenings off. He reconnected with hobbies he forgot he loved. He let go of people who only loved the version of him that sacrificed himself. And he discovered something beautiful. The world didn't fall apart when he chose himself. He didn't become unlovable. He didn't become selfish. He became whole. He became honest. He became steady. He became someone he respected. He became himself. Months later, someone asked Jonah what changed. He thought about it. The years of patterns, the cycles he repeated, the exhaustion he normalized. And he answered softly, "One day, I realized no one was coming to save me. So I chose the only person who always needed choosing, me." Because that's the truth. Your life doesn't transform the day someone validates you. Your life transforms the day you decide your own well-being matters. The day you stop apologizing for having needs. The day you break a cycle instead of surviving it. The day you choose yourself. Not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of your patterns. Stronger, clearer, braver. You meet that version the moment you stop settling for pain that feels familiar and start choosing peace that feels new. Because the day you choose yourself is the day your real life finally begins.